Ever fallen in love with the look and sound of an Italian motorcycle? Maybe dreaming of those beautiful red machines, but then heard whispers about them being, well, a bit moody? Like they prefer sitting in a garage looking pretty over actually hitting the road? While some Italian bikes might have earned that reputation fair and square, it's definitely not the whole story. Italy has given us some truly awesome bikes that blend that passion and style with engineering solid enough to pile on the miles. Forget the drama. These 13 Italian machines are known for being more reliable than you think. Pull on your best leather jacket. Let's check out some Italian bikes that are almost perfect and built to last. Kicking things off, we have a bike that's pure Italian character, but with a heart known for dependability, the Moto Guzzi V7. This bike taps into Guzzi's long history, especially its famous sideways V-twin engine. We're talking about an air-cooled 744cc later model that grew to 853cc transverse V-twin. That means the cylinders stuck out the sides, kind of like airplane engines back in the day. Early modern V7s made around 48 horsepower and 44 pound-feet of torque, while the later 850cc versions pump out about 65 horsepower and 54 pound-feet. Top speed is around 110 to 120 miles per hour, depending on the version. What makes it reliable? That engine design is simple and proven over decades. It's not stressed, and air cooling means no complex radiators or hoses to worry about. The shaft drive is also super low maintenance compared to a chain. Seat height is usually friendly, around 30.7 inches, making it easy for many riders to handle its roughly 440-pound wet weight. Suspension is basic but effective. Standard telescopic forks up front and twin rear shocks, often with preload adjustment only. Where the Guzzi really appeals is the ability to draw admiring looks everywhere you go together. It would be fair to say that this is one of the bikes that will figure highly in the dream garage wish list. I know many friends, along with me, who would be delighted to sit and polish the V7 Racer at every opportunity. From Guzzi's classic charm, let's jump to the bike that basically invented the naked bike category and showed Ducati could do simple and tough things, the original Monster 900. Back in '93, this was a revelation. Ducati took the engine and frame from their superbikes but stripped off all the fancy bodywork. The heart was a 904cc cooled L-twin engine, basically a V-twin tilted forward, making about 73 horsepower and 56 pound-feet of torque. Top speed was around 130 miles per hour. Its reliability came from that well-known Desmodoo 2-valve air-cooled engine. It was simpler than Ducati's 4-valve liquid-cooled racers, making it easier to live with. The trellis frame was strong and light, contributing to a dry weight under 410 pounds. Early models had non-adjustable forks, but later ones got adjustable Showa or Marzocchi units up front and an adjustable rear shock. The seat height was manageable at about 30.3 inches. It wasn't perfect. Ducati maintenance schedules with belts and valve checks need attention, but the core bike was tough and full of character. Speaking of strong V-twins, what if you wanted Italian sport bike passion, but with an engine known for being nearly bomb-proof? Enter the Arilia RSV MLE. This bike used a secret weapon, a 998cc V-twin engine built by Rotax, an Austrian company famous for reliable engines used in planes and snowmobiles. This 60-degree V-twin pumped out around 128 horsepower and 73 pound-feet of torque, pushing the bike to over 160 miles per hour. The Rotax engine was the key to its reputation. It was strong, reliable, and less temperamental than some Italian power plants of the era. The bike also featured a robust twin-spar aluminum frame, adjustable Showa suspension front and rear, even on the base model, and excellent Brembo brakes. It weighed around 417 pounds dry. Seat height was a bit sporty at 32.1 inches, but the riding position wasn't pure torture. It gave riders Ducati-level performance and handling with Austrian engine reliability, a winning combo. RSVs aren't your usual Italian flair. In terms of style, ride, and feel, MLEs are as different to their Ducati rivals as they are to Honda's SP1 or Suzuki's TL1000R. But that's no bad thing. What you get with an RSV is distinctly Aprilia, quirky, striking, well-engineered, and built and damn good fun to ride. So it's surprising then that Miles have never made strong money on the used market. If the Monster was a Ducati stripped down, it would probably look like the 900 SS. This bike used a similar 904cc Desmodoo L-twin as the Monster, putting out around 80 horsepower and 60 pound-feet of torque in this tune. Top speed was knocking on 140 miles per hour. Like the Monster, its reliability hinged on that proven air-cooled engine. It required diligent maintenance, especially the timing belts and valve adjustments, using Ducati's Desmodromic system, which closes valves mechanically instead of using springs, but the engine internals were strong. It featured a signature steel trellis frame and came with decent suspension, often adjustable Showa forks and an adjustable rear shock. Seat height was around 31.5 inches, and it weighed about 415 pounds dry. It offered a great balance of sport bike looks and handling with a more reliable and easier to manage engine than Ducati's top-tier superbikes of the time. Let's swing back to Moto Guzzi for something bigger, bolder, and built for the long haul, the California 1400. This bike took Guzzi's transverse V-twin concept and supersized it. We're talking a massive 1380cc air and oil-cooled V-twin, the biggest Guzzi had ever made for Europe, punching out about 96 horsepower and a huge 89 pound-feet of torque way down low in the rev range. Top speed is electronically limited, but it pulls hard. Reliability comes from Guzzi's familiar robust engine design, just scaled up, plus modern touches like ride-by-wire throttle, traction control, and ABS. Despite its size, around 700 pounds wet, it handles surprisingly well thanks to good weight distribution and decent suspension. Chunky 45mm forks up front and dual preload adjustable shocks in the back. The seat is plush and low, often around 29.1 inches, depending on the version, touring versus custom, making it comfortable for long rides. It's a big, stylish cruiser with that dependable Guzzi heart. Okay, let's dig into history for a bit for a brand known for building bikes like absolute tanks, Levera, specifically the S50 SF. Back in the 70s, Levera was famous for overbuilding their bikes. The 750 SF used a 744cc parallel twin engine that made about 60 horsepower, good for around 115 miles per hour. Doesn't sound wild now, but the key was how strong it was. Levera's used hefty engine components, beefy frames, and top-quality parts like Bosch electronics and Sirianni suspension. The SF stood for Super Freni, or Super Brakes, featuring Levera's own powerful drum brakes initially, later moving to Brembo discs. These bikes were heavy, over 500 pounds, but incredibly durable. The seat was fairly flat and reasonable in height for the era. Suspension was basic by today's standards, conventional forks and twin shocks, but high quality for the time. They weren't the fastest, but they were built to last forever with basic care. Bringing things back to modern times, Ducati found huge success by revisiting simple, reliable fun with the Scrambler line. Launched in 2015, the main Scrambler icon uses an 803cc air-cooled L-twin engine, a direct descendant of the reliable motors from the old Monster and 900 SS. It makes about 73 horsepower and 49 pound-feet of torque, with a top speed of around 120 miles per hour. Reliability is baked in thanks to that simple, proven engine design, now updated with modern fuel injection. It's lightweight, around 410 pounds wet, making it easy to handle. The seat height is a welcoming 31.3 inches for the Icon model. Suspension is pretty basic. Kayaba forks non-adjustable usually, and a preload adjustable Kayaba rear shock. It's not fancy, but it works well for the bike's intended fun-loving purpose. It's proof that Ducati can make a stylish, fun, and dependable bike that doesn't require a race mechanics toolkit. Okay, simple is great, but what if you want cutting-edge performance and good reliability from Italy? The later Arillia Tuono V4 models, especially the 1100RR, delivered just that. This bike is basically Aprilia's top superbike, the RSV4, but with handlebars instead of clip-ons for more comfort. The engine is a stunning 1077cc 65-degree V4, pumping out a massive 175 horsepower and 89 pound-feet of torque. Top speed? Way over 170 miles per hour. Now V4s can be complex, but Aprilia has refined this engine for years, and post-2015 models are known for being quite robust, avoiding major issues found in some earlier V4s. It's packed with tech, sophisticated electronics, APRC suite with traction control, wheelie control, launch control, ABS, excellent Brembo brakes, and top-shelf SOX suspension. Fully adjustable front and rear on the RR. It's heavy-ish at around 460 pounds wet, and the seat is sporty but more forgiving than a pure superbike, around 32.5 inches high. It's a reliable missile. So how did these Italian companies, sometimes known for bikes needing lots of TLC, manage to build machines like the robust Guzzis or the Rotax-powered Aprilias? Was it just hitting the mark by chance sometimes? Not really. While Italian manufacturers definitely prioritize passion, style, and performance, they also have deep engineering roots. Companies like Moto Guzzi built their reputation on sturdy, simple designs like that Transverse V-twin. It wasn't flashy tech, but it worked and lasted. Ducati's air-cooled L-twin was another example of a strong, relatively simple engine core that they used successfully for decades. When Aprilia wanted top performance and reliability for their flagship V-twin, they smartly partnered with Rotax, known specialists in durable engines. Levera just plain over-engineered everything, so it often came down to either sticking with proven, simple designs, focusing engineering on durability for specific components, or smart partnerships. They could build reliable bikes when it was a core goal for a particular model. That focus on simple, strong design shines through in another Guzzi legend, the iconic Le Mans Mark I. This bike took the standard Guzzi V-twin platform and turned it into a stunning cafe racer right from the factory. It used an 844cc version of the air-cooled Transverse V-twin, making about 71 horsepower, and lots of torque, good for around 130 miles per hour. Like other Guzzis, its strength was that simple, robust engine and the reliable shaft drive. It featured low handlebars, rear-set foot pegs, and that iconic bikini fairing. Seat height was reasonable, and while the riding position was sporty, it wasn't extreme. Suspension was typical quality gear for the time, often Seriani forks and adjustable rear shocks. It weighed around 475 pounds. The Le Mans proved that Guzzi's reliable platform could also be seriously cool and sporty, creating a bike that enthusiasts still adore today for its looks and dependability. From classic sportiness to modern adventure, Ducati showed they could blend performance, tech, and improve reliability with later Multistrada models, specifically the 1200 DVT from 2015 and the later 1260 models made big strides. These used Ducati's Testostrada V-twin engine, now with Desmodromic Variable Timing, DVT, for smoother power delivery. The 1200 DVT made about 160 horsepower, while the 1260 pushed that 158 horsepower, but with much more mid-range torque, around 95 pound-feet. Top speeds are well over 150 miles per hour. While early multis had the gremlins, these later generations became much more reliable, benefiting from refined engine tech and better quality control. They're packed with features, riding modes, traction control, cornering ABS, and often electronic skyhook suspension on S models that adjust automatically. Seat height is adjustable, usually between 32.5 and 33.3 inches. They're complex bikes, no doubt, weighing around 510 to 530 pounds wet, but they proved Ducati could build a high-tech, high-performance adventure tourer that you could actually rely on for big trips. Aprilia also aimed for a reliable adventure touring market with the Capenord 1200. Sharing its basic 1,197cc V-twin engine architecture with the Dorsoduro. It was tuned for touring, making about 125 horsepower and 85 pound-feet of torque. Top speed is around 140 miles per hour. This engine proved to be pretty sturdy. What set the Capenord apart, especially the travel pack version, was its advanced Aprilia Dynamic Damping, ADD semi-active suspension. It automatically adjusted damping based on riding style and road conditions, offering a great balance of comfort and control. It also had ride-by-wire, traction control, ABS, and cruise control. The seat was comfy and reasonably tall at 33 inches. Weight was around 500 pounds dry. While maybe not as common as some rivals, the Capenord offered a high-tech, comfortable, and reliable Italian alternative for adventure riders. The combined package is so well put together that it promises to put the Capenord right up there with the competition and is well worth a ride. It has the perfect mix of sporty performance, and handling combined with supreme comfort that will make two-up long-distance touring a joy. MV Agusta is often seen as the most exotic and maybe temperamental Italian brand, but models like the later Brutale 800 from 2016 onwards showed significant improvements in reliability. The heart is a 798cc inline 3-cylinder engine with a counter-rotating crankshaft like Moto GP bikes, helping agility. It makes about 110 to 140 horsepower depending on the version, RR, dragster, etc., and about 61 to 64 pound-feet of torque. Top speed ranges from 140 to 150 miles per hour. Early MV triples had some issues, but by 2016, updates to the engine, management, clutch, and gearbox made them much more dependable day-to-day. They still demand proper maintenance, but the core engine became much stronger. Suspension is typically high-spec Marzocchi forks and Sox shock, usually fully adjustable. Seat height is around 32.7 inches, and dry weight is light at about 386 pounds. It's a stunning, high-performance naked bike that became reliably usable. Alright, so these Italian beauties can indeed be reliable bikes, right? Mostly yes, but here's the little twist. Just like with any bike, reliable for an Italian thoroughbred might still mean pay attention to the maintenance schedule. You can't always treat them like an old anvil you can just ignore. Things like Ducati's valve adjustments, Desmo service, or specific oil requirements are important. Sometimes the reliability reputation suffered not just from design, but from owners skipping crucial maintenance because it could be pricey or complex, or maybe using parts that weren't quite up to spec. These bikes often use high-quality components that expect good care. So, even with these more dependable Italians, follow the service book, use the right fluids and parts, and maybe find a mechanic who knows their way around Italian engineering. That's how you keep the passion alive and reliable. Speaking of bikes that reward good care with reliable character, let's finish with a truly unique Italian muscle bike, the Moto Guzzi Griso 1200 8V. This thing just looks tough. It used Guzzi's most powerful air and oil-cooled transverse V-twin at the time, an 1151cc 8-valve unit, making about 110 horsepower and 80 pound-feet of torque. Top speed is around 145 miles per hour. This quattro valvole engine was more complex than the standard Guzzi twin, but proved pretty robust if maintained correctly, especially regarding valve checks. The bike featured Guzzi's signature shaft drive, housed in a beautiful single-sided swing arm CARC system that reduced shaft jacking effects. Suspension was high quality, fully adjustable upside-down forks, often Showa or Marzocchi, and a fully adjustable rear shock. The seat was surprisingly comfy for its muscular looks. At a height of 31.5 inches, it weighed a substantial 500 pounds dry. The Griso was all about style, torque, and character, delivered with that solid Guzzi backbone, a reliable way to stand out from the crowd. And there you have it, 13 Italian motorcycles that blend that incredible style and soul with a surprising dose of reliability. From simple, sturdy Guzzis to refined Ducatis and Aprilias, Italy has definitely produced bikes that can go the distance without causing too much heartache. What's the most reliable Italian bike you've ever known or owned? Let me know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this look at Italy's tougher side, give it a thumbs up, and be sure to subscribe for more deep dives into the world of motorcycles. Ride safe. Ciao.